Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next update for my Panda palette, and this is my first video back since visiting my family, so it's gonna feel very strange filming in this setup again. But before I jump into the update on this palette, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love that in family. But yeah, let's just go and show you where I was last month. So as you can see, this right here is where I was last month, and if I show you my palette now, this is what it looks like. So I do have quite a bit of difference in the palette, and I feel like I was able to hit most of my goals, if not all of them. But let's just start going through each shade in order. So the first shade in the palette is the highlighter shade right here. This one is one that I've used quite a lot over the last month, and I'm hoping you can see the difference. Last time I checked, I feel like there was quite a large difference in between the last 2 months, or between this month and last month. With this shade, I've used it 25 times over the last month, which is great, and like I said, that is most times I've done my makeup. And I have used this kind of both as a brow bone highlight. I forgot to put it on there today though, but I used it as a brow bone highlight quite a lot, and then also sometimes as a face highlighter. I don't kind of do that as much anymore though, because I've been trying to get through some more highlighters in my new top 5 bottom 5 product pan. But I have still used this 25 times, like I said, over the month, and I'm getting to a point now where it's quite hard to use this. So I am gonna film kind of frankening or repressing my Panda palette later this month, or I will probably film it straight after this update, but I will upload it maybe in a week or so. And I'm definitely going to repress this shade because, like I said, it's getting quite hard to use. So hopefully I will be able to kind of use it up quicker doing that, because right now it's really hard, especially when I use it as a face highlighter, because the corners are quite hard to get into. But that is the first shade, and then let's move on to the second shade, which is the golden shade right here. This is a shade that I've neglected quite a lot over the last month, and I did only use this shade twice over the last month. I was focusing on some other shades, and I'm also working on a bronze shade in my Panda's eyeshadows, so I didn't want to use this too much, but I only used it twice, and I don't think you'll be able to notice any difference in the photos. The next shade is this one right here. It was one of my focus shades over the last month, and I used this champagne shade 21 times over the last month, mostly as an inner corner highlight. That's how I've been using this most of the year. There's been a few times where I used it on the lid or kind of on the center of my lid, things like that, but it's too shimmery to use as a brow bone highlight, and I don't really like it on its own on my lid, so it's mainly in a corner shade. And I had a goal on this last month to use up half of what else left, and I think that I was able to do so. I haven't actually checked my photos recently or before filming this, so I can't really say for sure. You let me know down below if you think I did, but yeah, I have used up quite a lot of that, and I would probably say that I used up half, but the photos will tell you more. Then moving on to the next shade right here, which is this kind of warm brown. I have used it a few times over the last month, and I incorporated it especially in my outer corner, but I did try to use it as transition shade a few times as well, and that did work, but it's slightly too dark. This is actually one of the shades that I'm gonna kind of tackle in my frankening my Panda palette, so you just have to stay tuned for that. But I just kind of want to do something different with it. I'm hoping that's going to turn out okay. But I did use this shade 5 times over the last month. Like I said, probably twice as a crease shade, and then 3 times as an outer corner shade. But yeah, that is the next shade. Then moving on quickly past this shade, this dark brown I haven't used. These two are very similar on the eyes, and since I was working on this one, I kind of let this one go, and that's what I've been doing most of the year. So no difference there, no uses, and that's probably going to stay the same for the rest of the year, unfortunately. Then the next shade was another one of my focus shade, and that was this purple right here. I wanted to hit pan on it, and as you can see, I was able to do so, which is amazing. I did use this 10 times over the last month. I think I hit pan after maybe 8 uses or so, and these pans are quite shallow, so it didn't take too long, and also the shade is quite crumbly. But I did find a look that I panned quite a lot, especially when I was with my parents, pairing this with both the Colourpop Special Shadow in Revolution, which I'm panning in my Partners in Cream, as well as the 2 lilac shades from my Pandas eyeshadows. So that look was something that I did quite a lot, and that's mainly how I got use out of this one, but I'm very excited that I did hit pan on this shade. The next shade in the palette, or the lack of the next shade in the palette, was this orange shade right here. My goal was to use this up completely over the last month, and I was able to do so. So that was my third goal that I was working towards, and it's probably the goal that I was most focused on doing, because I just wanted to get an eyeshadow out this month, and I'm really happy to see that empty pan in this palette. I did use this shade 19 times in order to use it up, so that was quite a lot, and it has kind of hindered some of the uses on my Pandas eyeshadows, but I am still very happy that I have this shade out, because it means that this palette is starting to look quite used, and I feel like I'm getting close on a few other shades. So I'm very excited that I have used this pan up now. I will probably repurpose this pan when I franken this palette, but you'll see that in the upcoming video. But I'm so happy to have my first shade out of this palette. Then the last shade in the palette is this dark highlighter shade right here. I have used it mainly as a face highlighter, I think, a few times on my lid, and as a brow bone highlight. I used it 17 times over the last month, so not the most compared to other months, but still pretty good, and it was the shade that I was really enjoying wearing over summer. When I did use it as a highlighter, I use it mainly kind of on my forehead. Again, I'm not wearing it today. I was having a lazy makeup day today, but yeah, I did get a lot of use out of this one, and I'm almost kind of hitting side pan right here. I'm hoping you can see how little product is left right there, but I'm getting very close. And overall, I'm very happy with the progress that I have over the last month. But just quickly before we wrap this video up, let's go through my goals for next month. So with this palette, my first goal will actually be to use up this inner corner shade right here, the champagne shade. I really want to get another eyeshadow out from this palette, and yeah, I just want to really kind of focus on that one. It might be a bit of a push because I've only used this on my inner corners, but I might have to use this on my lids and things like that just to get it finished up. But that will be my first goal. The second goal will be to re-hit pan on this highlighter shade. Like I said, I will repress this after filming this video, and I want to re-hit pan and hopefully kind of expand that pan quite a lot. So that will be my second goal. And then when it comes to my third goal, I want to hit pan on the Franken shade that I'm going to put in here. You don't know what that's going to be yet, but I'm really hoping that that's going to be a shade that I can use quite a lot, and I am hoping to hit pan on that shade over the next month. So those will be my 3 goals. It's quite a kind of vague goal system this month, because this is not what the palette's gonna look like when I start working on it. But of course I will have pictures up to compare it next update, just to show you what it looked like after I repressed and franken this palette, just so you can see the progress. But that is it for this update, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'm very excited with the progress that I was able to make this last month. And I think even despite traveling for quite a bit of the month, I was able to use up so much of this palette. But other than that, I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys!